Most organisations try to gather the views of their staff periodically. After all, many of your staff spend much of their day either in direct contact with your customers or in roles that have an influence on the service your customers receive. So it's important to understand how they feel and what they're thinking. Here's how it works. It's quite obvious really, but the first thing you need to do is to decide what you want to investigate. Is it staff opinions, health and well-being issues, or perhaps internal communications? It is, however, important to have a tight focus, otherwise the research may not deliver the clarity of results you'd like. You also need to consider the best methodology to use. Should it be focus groups, or a self-completion survey, or a mixture of both? The next step is to design the questionnaire. You'll also need to consider whether it will be an online survey or if you're going to stick with paper copies. Setting up an online survey can be time-consuming and staff may have concerns about confidentiality, so it may be worth considering using an external specialist agency. Now, of course, a survey can consist of purely qualitative research, such as focus groups and interviews. If this is the best solution, you need to decide on the issues which will be used in the discussions. An important step before your research project goes live is to brief staff about it. You need to reassure them that their responses will be treated in confidence. It's also vital to be clear on what will happen with the results. Will these be shared with all staff? That has an influence on staff's willingness to take part. Now you're ready to launch your survey. If your survey consists of a questionnaire, you need to either ensure that staff have access to the online survey or that there are paper copies of the questionnaire available. If you're using focus groups and interviews, arrangements need to be agreed well in advance. If you're using an online or paper survey, we usually recommend that this should be live for around 2 weeks. You may want to send out reminders to encourage as many staff as possible to participate. Normally, it shouldn't be necessary to offer an incentive to participate, however. Once the survey has closed, or the focus groups and interviews have been completed, it's time to start the analysis process. It's important to ensure that no analysis will reveal the identity of an individual or make it possible to narrow down the list of possible respondents to just a handful of people. A report should then be compiled to reflect the findings, and you should include all of the comments submitted by staff in questionnaires. However, names and references to individuals should of course be removed. The findings should then be shared as appropriate, and most importantly, any agreed actions taken forward to ensure that your investment in research has been worthwhile. Staff surveys are a crucial source of information and provide a useful check on how people are feeling. They require very sensitive handling to ensure they aren't seen as a tick box exercise and to make sure any concerns about confidentiality are addressed. Some organisations choose to do it in-house using off-the-shelf survey design packages and undertaking the data analysis themselves. However, if you're looking to use an online survey or want to benchmark yourselves against similar organisations, then it may make sense to commission external research. RCU is currently able to offer benchmarking for colleges, which gives an indicator of your position against similar organisations and can also be used to monitor trends if you choose to repeat the survey. RCU can host online surveys on its secure server, ensuring that they can't be accessed by anyone externally. You might also want to consider an external approach that guarantees independence, objectivity and confidentiality, as these are often the very concerns that staff have about in-house methodologies. If you'd like to discuss staff surveys or any other research needs, then simply get in touch.